Though the exchange today looked more or less smooth, we did see some confusion over the requirement of ID proofs, and banks seem to have different policies of their own on whether they need ID proofs or not. So were banks not prepared properly to follow the same rules? Why did this inconsistency really happen?
You see, firstly, you must realize that what happened yesterday is very different from what happened on 8th November 2016.
Right.
8th November 2016, it was 85% of the currency in circulation that was demonetized. Now what has been demonetized is only 11%. So that's a fraction of what happened in 2016. The window, as you rightly pointed out, is also much bigger. So there is no cash shortage. There is no such problem as yet. But, see, even to deposit money in an account, suppose I want to deposit 5 lakhs into Europe. Then questions may be asked of you, where did the money come from? So deposit money, especially large sums in an account, you need KYC. I just can't deposit money into anyone's account. You need some KYC.
Right.
What about exchanging? Exchanging, you want to know whether the money is got in a legal basis or there is some infringement of the law. Now here I'll say there can be a relaxed attitude, because demonetization can be to capture illegal or black money, what we call black money, or it can be to create inconvenience for those who get money through corruption or infringement of law. And the main idea is, if you have 2,000 rupees, suppose you want to keep 20 crore in your apartment. If you have 2,000 rupee notes, the amount of space, security arrangements that you need to make is much less than if you need to store the same amount of money in 500 rupee notes. So demonetizing large currencies, large denomination currencies have been done in many countries, but they have been done. And this time in India, what we are doing, what the RBI is doing, is more or less in line with what Canada did in 2010, or I think Singapore did in 2014, European Central Bank did in 2016. So I congratulate RBI for doing it in a very systematic way.
Right. And Dr. Lahiri, you mentioned that the RBI had said, and we also saw SBI releasing that circular, that there'll be no ID proof or anything required. But you mentioned that point, that people usually store black money in these high value currencies of 2,000 rupees. So while banks are following their own rules, SBI and the Reserve Bank have also said that there's no ID proof or anything required. So how will these transactions really be monitored? If one argument is to say that this measure will help curb black money as well, how will it help curb that when anybody can exchange as much currency as they want without showing any ID proof or PAN card?
You see, what have we learned from 2016 demonetization? I'm trying to cash the black money that I have by not allowing me to deposit it, exchange it in a bank, did not succeed, because businessmen and people who have illegal black money, they find ways. I'll find 15 people will take 20,000 rupees each and deposit in a bank. Now, with the amount of money that all the money came back, because everyone found ways of depositing that money or exchanging that money. So personally, I think putting too much restriction on this identity and so on is not very productive. But at the same time, if someone is trying to deposit 1 crore of rupees, a very large sum, then to say, yes, come, welcome, we change it. So it has to be the discretion of the bank. But if you take 2,000 rupee notes and you try to exchange it, insisting on an identity, particularly when you're exchanging it, when you're depositing in the bank, because I don't know whose account you're depositing in it. Maybe you're depositing it in my account to embarrass me. When the income tax will ask me, where did you get this money from? I have no idea who deposited it. But exchanging it is a different matter. But these are administrative details which the RBI is best placed to decide.
Right. And when we talk about the September 30th deadline, sir, the RBI has made it repeatedly clear that this is not demonetization. And as you also mentioned, that this currency, these notes are going to be legal tender even after the 30th September deadline. So considering that, but do you think that the September 30th deadline is reasonable to exchange or deposit all the 2000 rupee notes that we have in circulation? There are around 214 lakh crore 2000 rupee notes according to the RBI's own data. So do you think banks are ready? We have enough notes printed to exchange these 2000 rupee notes?
I don't have the details, but I would assume that RBI has made better preparations than what it did in 2016. And I must again congratulate RBI. You see, there is a legal issue involved. Take a rupee note. What does it say? I promise to pay. There is no deadline on that. It's an open-ended promise. So what all countries, many countries that I know, what they do, they never say it's going to cease to be legal tender. All that they say, they will not put any more in circulation. For example, you may have noticed, I also noticed it, that no 2000 rupee notes were available in ATM machines, so the banks were not giving 2000 rupees anymore.
Right.
So whatever 2000 rupees were going to the bank, the RBI quietly sort of digested it. Never came back for circulation. So that's the way it's done. So even if you go back in 2050, and say here is a 2000 rupee note, technically you will still be entitled to get the money.
Right.
But maybe you have to go through some steps. Where did you get it from? They will ask you some questions.
Right. Right. And of course, the RBI also stopped printing these notes.
About a cash shortage.
Right.
That's complete wrong propaganda.
Right. All right. Thanks very much, sir, for joining us with your insights on these important questions. And